Ramaz with Easy featuring bridge music and Asha Ilya. Also played You Celebrate Africa with Home and Irene Mafokwane with Joy and Peace. Now, the much awaited moment of truth. We're going to call it a moment of truth. I don't know what we're going to call it. But I've got with me via StreamYard, Jean-Dre, how are you doing?
I'm good,
I'm
thank you.
good,
And
thank you.
yourself? Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to have you on the show this morning. Chandra and I were trying to get the best view, and we got it eventually at some point. So you can see me clearly, you can hear me clearly. Everything is good to go. Is that correct?
Yes. And same on
Fantastic.
your side. You can see me, you can hear
Yes.
me?
All good. I
Okay.
can hear you and super excited, Genre. So we had the pleasure of chatting to you and meeting you on our trip with Frequent Traveler. And I also know that this is the very first stop of the 3-day bus tour. Now, before we get into it, Genre, tell us a little bit about Darling Olives. So the history, where it all began.
Okay. So the farm first started when the late Nicolas Johannes Basson, our owner's father, planted the first olive trees and vineyards here in the Darling area. And then just a viewpoint from our owner, Rudlin Basson, I can give you a paragraph that she wrote. It
Mhm.
was an olive twig that the dove brought back to Noah after the flood. An olive branch will always be a symbol of wisdom and peace, and right through history, olives nourished the body, and olive oil was used in diets as a cleanser, as medicine, for lighting, and about 1001 other uses as well. Rulin Basson, the owner, always had a fascination with the olive trees on their farm and had the desire to add value to the wonderful dryland olives they produce each year. She started experimenting with 20 kg of olives through many trials and errors. We learned by experience and slowly built the business to include not only olives, but also our olive jams, paste, rubs, chocolate, extra virgin olive oil, flavored olive oils, and even our olive soaps and our bath range. Today, we have a fully FSA audited factory processing about 100 tons of table olives, all from our own farm, as well as producing our own olive oil.
I think it's the network.
Is very
Oh,
important
there
to
we go.
us.
We've got you back.
Okay.
Hi, Genre. Sorry, we lost you there for a bit. I think it was a network issue, but we've got you back now.
Okay. Should I start again from a certain point?
Maybe just towards the last two sentences.
Okay, so today we have a fully FSA audited factory processing about 100 tons of table olives, all from our own farm, as well as producing our own olive oils. We are passionate about each of our products, and making sure they are of the highest quality is very important to us. The owner lived by the motto of only producing products that she loves to use in her own kitchen and serve to her own family and friends.
Amazing. Now, before we get into the different types of, I guess, products that you have, what would you say sets Darling Olives apart from the rest?
Okay, so firstly, Darling Olives is a dry land estate, which means the olives are therefore not artificially fattened with water, but the roots of the olive trees grow deep into the soil for moisture, resulting in healthy and very tasty olives and olive oil. Being situated about 15 kilometers from the ocean as the crow flies, our olive trees only get the cool Atlantic breeze and rain and are never irrigated. We produce our olives and olive oil within 24 hours of hand picking them from the tree, and we are very strict on our quality control.
Hmm.
Yes.
Sure. I had quite an experience when we had the olive tasting at the site, and I think one of the things, I mean, a lot of people, I asked around, and not a lot of people are fond of olives, but the beauty of it
Yes.
is there's a variety. I think, I mean, I got to experience this firsthand, and so you have also brought us a couple of samples, and I'm going to start with the very first one. Now, this one is a Darling extra virgin olive oil. And I know that there's a way that you sort of demonstrated it to us. Could you just share with the listeners? I mean, I've got a normal cup for today, but I know that there was a way that you sort of did it on the day. Do you mind just sharing that with the listeners?
Yes, of course, no problem. Okay, so first, it's basically how to choose a good quality olive oil for yourself. And how we can you hear me?
I'm here. I'm pouring the olive oil for myself to taste.
Okay, no problem.
Continue. I'm so
Yes, so
sorry.
we usually pour it into a shot glass just to
Hmm.
see the color and get the scent out better. But you're welcome to pour in anything close by. And this is just to check that you have a good quality olive oil. You can also, it's a 4 point taste that you can do at home
Hmm.
as well to ensure that you
Yeah.
use a good quality olive oil. Yeah. So
And
the
I know
first
there was
point we look at
something
is
with the
usually the
smell.
color.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm
Yes.
getting excited. Sorry,
So
I'm
a good
thinking
quality.
about the smell. You can
So a
proceed.
good quality olive oil is usually any shade from light yellow to light green. Usually the lighter yellow color, like the half-ripe olives we use at Darling Olives, give a softer, more suitable oil for the South African palate. And when the olives are also picked half-ripe, the olive oil, we get more quantity and quality from the
Hmm.
olives.
Hmm.
And if the oil is more green, it's a greener, or more pepperish oil, more suitable for the Mediterranean palate. And when the oil gets a dark golden color, almost like a brandy, then it's a very poor quality olive oil, or the shelf life is already expired. So you can rather throw it away or use it to oil your wooden furniture, but it's no longer suitable for human consumption anymore.
Mm. And again, the other
So if
thing
you
that I
could tell me,
remember was the smell. We had an experience with the smell.
yes.
It smelled like grass.
Yes. So you are welcome. I don't know what you poured into right now, but the listeners as well, if they are at home, if they poured into a glass, maybe just a little bit to check the oil, they can just rub it warm or keep it in the palm tightly just to heat up the oil, and then they will get the scent out better. So the scent of a good quality olive oil is usually freshly cut grass. And this is the scent picked up by most consumers as well in our tasting rooms. And then there's also other scents like nuts and berries, but these
Hmm.
require a bit more experience and a sensitive nose for olive oil. But when you cook with it or in your salads, you will also get a nuttiness and a fruitiness out of the olive oil, especially because we are a dryland estate and our olives are very much more concentrated, which gives our olive oil a lot more flavor.
And for those that are watching on our stream right now, I'm just going to share what it
Yes.
looks like. If you can see, that is the olive oil in question. I'm not sure if it's very visible, but that is exactly what Genre is talking about. Thank you so much,
Yeah, I
Genre.
can
And then
also show them if it's a bit more
yes,
clear. I
fantastic.
have
Thank
one
you
here
so much.
as
Yeah.
well.
And then moving on to, and of course, you mentioned that we can use in various. I mean, we can cook with it. We can pour it over salad. Is that correct?
Yes, and also if you would like to taste it just as is, the olive oil, we usually look at the palate and antioxidants in the tasting room as well. And then you take a little sip of the oil, and then you will also taste the freshly cut grass, a bitterness on your tongue, and most importantly, the antioxidants that have it leaves a scratchy sensation in your throat that almost tastes like black pepper. And the
Mm,
antioxidants are called lycopene, which is a natural preservative in the oil, which extends the shelf life, protects diseases like cancer, and also protects the oil against high heat. That's why you can cook with it up until 210 degrees, which is usually the smoking point of a good quality olive oil.
sure. And then we're going to move
Yes.
over to a personal favorite of mine. This one is the olive marmalade. I know there's a few people that love marmalade. I'm just going to try and put it into the camera there. I'm not sure if the people streaming can see. But chat to us about this product. So I'm going to have this with a piece of bread and share my experience. So you can just chat as I do the tasting on my end.
Okay, all good. So our marmalade is not as bitter as your traditional marmalade. It's more on the sweet side, but with a perfect amount of citrus that makes it taste like a South African Christmas in a jar. And it pairs nicely with cheesecake or malva pudding when you mix it with crushed nuts and a bit of brandy. Then just as a sauce, and then also you can replace the nuts with crushed garlic and a bit of olive oil, and then paint it over your duck, chicken, spare rib, or gammon while it's in the oven or over the coals. So that is our whole Christmas in a jar.
Mm. And what was the reception for this one genre, the olive marmalade?
So, unfortunately, our factory is very strict on their recipes. They don't allow every recipe is a secret. So, I can only provide the ingredients for you. But this is basically like a traditional way of making your marmalade, just with olives and citrus and sugar, syrup, and maybe like a piece of onion or anything like
Mm.
that. Unfortunately, I cannot.
Amazing.
provide the whole recipe for you.
No worries. And now we're moving over to the Darling olive paste. Now, it's a natural black olives mixed into a delectable paste. It's ideal on a pizza base, pasta, or roast vegetables. Let's chat about this one.
Yes. So usually the people confuse a paste with a tapenade. And
Hmm.
tapenade usually has an anchovy or caper base, whereas our olive paste only contains olives and a bit of olive oil. That's why we only call it an olive paste. And we also have an olive pesto. And the difference between paste and pesto, also, if you have asked, is that a pesto usually has nuts. And
Hmm.
we have an olive and sun-dried tomato pesto. And I know that one is in the giveaway that we're going to do. Yes.
Mm.
And so that is just the differences between the two. And as you've mentioned, the olive paste is nice, like just smeared over your cracker on a cheese platter, and it just gives a nice, rich olive flavor to every dish you make with your olives.
And I mean, who would have thought, right? Olive paste. Ideally, you think of olives as just in salad, but it's amazing how there's a variety of different ways to obviously produce it. And then we're going to move on over to the actual olives. Let's chat about that. So in front of me, I've got the Kalamata style olives in brine. Let's chat about that.
Yes. So there's a reason why I sent you specifically the Kalamata olives, because there
Hmm.
is a bit of confusion in the world about a Kalamata style olives. And here in South Africa, we don't have enough Kalamata cultivars growing. There are around 600 cultivars of olives worldwide and only about 20 good growers in South Africa. So, specifically about the Kalamata, is that there's not enough Kalamata cultivars growing in South Africa because they like the Mediterranean climate a bit better. But
Yeah.
we are allowed to use other black olives, of which the mission that we use is ideal. At Darling Olives, we only use the Mission cultivar. So then we pick our olives black, and then after the fermentation process, which is about 6 to 12 months, that the olives lies in the tanks in salt water before we can bottle them. Then
Mm.
it goes to a vinegar style. So Kalamata means vinegar. So our normal black olives are placed on a vinegar style for 24 to 48 hours before we bottle them. And then we identify Kalamata with a C, as you see on the jar. So
Yes, correct.
Kalamata with a K is usually the Kalamata cultivar and the Kalamata style, if you would like. But
Mm.
Kalamata with a C is usually another cultivar just with the Kalamata style, which is the vinegar style.
And this, of course, you can place into salads and the likes. Is that correct?
Yes, in anything. We also have pitted and broken olives, and we use or we call our olives pitted and broken because we don't irrigate them, so they tend to be a bit more smaller.
Mm,
But the
mm.
normal olives can also be pitted, and then you can use it on your pizza, in a pasta as well, in any dish that you would like to add olives to, not only salad.
Yeah. And now moving on to my favorite, from my experience at least, the Darling Olive Chocolate Salami. I mean, wow.
Yes.
And you're
So that
smiling
one
because
turns
you,
heads in the tasting room
right,
usually. Yeah.
right.
So
And
this is one of our specialties, and I would just like to show you,
yes,
because
please.
this one is made in a salami shape. So there's no meat with, it's just the shape, and it also looks like a piece of salami when you cut it through, because it is a dark chocolate with little pieces of nuts, crushed ginger biscuits, little pieces of dried olives, and also a little bit of brandy just for the flavor. So this one pairs well with a nice cup of coffee in front of your fireplace, or with ice cream and strawberries in summer. And this is just like a unique twist to a traditional Portuguese treat of dark
Mm.
chocolate.
I can definitely taste. I mean, it's sweet, and the dark chocolate is not too rich, which is amazing. And so this is, yeah, like I say, my absolute favorite.
Yes, there's a little saltiness in there from the dried olives, there's a little sweetness from the chocolates, and yeah, it just pairs
Now,
well with coffee.
yeah. Johnny, thank you so much. I have tasted a bit of everything in front of me. Let's chat about, I mean, for a scenario, for instance, I'm in the shop and I'm not sure what or how to select the best olive oil. What do I do as maybe even a first time buyer of olive oil?
Yes. So I will just show to the listeners that can see as well. First, we look at the words extra virgin olive oil. So this means that the olive oil is 100% pure, that nothing has been added, and that it has also not been chemically treated. As soon as we add anything to extra virgin olive oil, we may no longer call it extra virgin olive oil. And
Yeah.
extra virgin olive oil, or olive oil in general, is also the only oil that can be used the same day it is picked and pressed. All other oils should be processed to some extent before it's suitable for
Mm.
use. And then we have the SA olive sticker. So every year we send a sample of our oils to a panel of experts to be tested and tasted. And as soon as this panel approves our oil, we get that sticker for a year. And that sticker is not like it's more like a grading, not an
Yeah.
award. So it's the highest grading for South African olive oil. So when consumers see that sticker on a South African olive oil, they also know that the oil is top of the range. But we did
Right.
participate in the SA Olive Awards a few weeks
Yes.
ago that we did receive our gold. So you can just look at Darling for now,
And
and
that,
then you will know
yeah,
that it is the best quality olive oil to choose. Yeah.
there we
So
go.
we were-
And then,
and then
no, no, I think there's a bit of a delay. So there you have it, listeners. Look for the, as Jean-Ray said, the SA Olive Awards Gold, and stick to Darling for now, as Jean-Ray has said. That's all you
yes.
need to be buying. Jean-Ray, the other thing, which I found very intriguing in my experience, was that you guys have an array of products. I mean, it's not just what we've obviously touched on today, but there are body scrubs, there are lip balms, and the likes. Talk to us about your different products and what you offer.
Okay, so we already discussed the paste and the marmalades and
Yes.
basically all the things we can taste. So now for the bath range, we only use 100% natural products, and we have four products that are as follows. First, the bath salt that contains unprocessed coarse salt, which is or antibacterial, Epsom salt and bicarbonate of soda, which helps with sore muscles and detoxing, and then also it comes in six different scents or fragrances, and we use essential oils for these. So in the bath salt, or every we have four products, and all four products have all six different scents.
Hmm.
And first, lemongrass is good for poor circulation, revitalizes body and mind, and it is also one of the most popular essential oils in the world. And we also have others like lavender, rose geranium, ylang ylang, rooibos that is close to heart in South Africa, and also peppermint that occurs almost everywhere in the world. And then our body butter, we combine pure shea butter, cocoa butter, arrowroot powder, vitamin E, and then the essential oils with our extra virgin olive oil, resulting in a product that is incredibly moisturizing and nourishing for the body. We also have our olive soap that is made of 100% extra virgin olive oil, making it extremely mild on the skin and packed with many beauty benefits. And then our lip balms contains beeswax that helps with dry lips, and also combine extra virgin olive oil, cocoa butter, and vitamin E oil. And once again, the pure essential oils for natural flavors, providing your lips with moisturizing nutrients, keeping them soft and hydrated. So that's basically our bath range. And yeah. Then we also have our infused oils. So as I've mentioned with the extra virgin olive oil, on our infused oils, you will see that there does not stand extra virgin on there, although it's
Yeah.
still made from extra virgin olive oil, but we may not put it on the packaging because we added flavor to these oils. So that's why
Mm.
extra virgin olive oil is very strict and very, that's why extra virgin olive oil, if you see that on the label, you should know that that is the best olive oil to pick.
And then, just in terms of your customers, what would you say has been your best seller? I think in terms of the body scrub and maybe even the lip balm. What is like the chosen scent?
Lemongrass is a
Hmm.
chosen scent, and then the rooibos one because it's neutral, and most
Yeah.
people don't like fragrances mixing with their perfume maybe or anything like that. So rooibos is neutral, and it's also good for any skin condition. So
Mm.
people tend to choose the lemongrass and the rooibos, and I've also seen that the rose geranium one goes fast in
Mm.
in the store. Yeah.
Phenomenal. Jean-Ray, why should our listeners, anyone watching the StreamYard interview on our social media platforms, why should they visit Darling Olives?
Okay, so we are a family business, and with the help of our dedicated employees, we believe Darling Olives has become a must do experience for those traveling through Darling. Whether bringing your family for an insightful olive tasting around the main table or as part of a larger group in our tasting hall, we look forward to sharing our passion for all things olive related with you.
There we go. Thank you so much, Genre. I also know that we have a giveaway, and maybe for someone that hasn't seen our social media pages, what does the hamper include?
Okay, so we have our specialty olives, our marinated olives, and this is our own secret recipe of lovely plump olives with extra virgin olive oil with rosemary, garlic, and vinegar. Absolutely delicious on its own. And then we also have our extra virgin olive oil, a gift box paste that includes the normal olive paste, our hot peri peri paste, and also the pesto, as I've mentioned. And then a garlic infused olive oil, lemon infused olive oil, our rooibos soap, and also a marmalade that you've tasted, the chocolate, salami, and a free tasting voucher for two. And this whole giveaway is worth 850 Rand.
Very exciting. And we'll touch on
Yeah.
that in a bit to everyone that's tuned in. Genre, before I let you go, how can our listeners and the rest of the audience get a hold of your products or purchase your products rather?
Okay, so we supply all spawn checkers in the Western Cape, or most of them. We are also busy distributing our products to Gauteng, PE, and our store on the farm is always available throughout the week. And we do have an online store as well. We deliver nationwide, all over South Africa. So you can just click on our website and then our store will pop up.
Amazing. Jean-Ray, thank you so much for your time. And like I said, so excited for, I guess, even with frequent Traveler, like we said, it is the very first stop. And it is an experience that you want to be a part of, to you as the listener and the rest of the audience. It gives olives a whole new meaning, I think, in my opinion, anyway. And I also want to say, if you're not an olive lover, then you might just lean towards it. But maybe I'm reaching, I don't know. I'll leave that to the listener. Jean-Ray, thank you so much once again. Have a stunning, stunning Wednesday, and we'll chat soon.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a lovely day further.
All right,
See you
then. Cheers.
soon.
Cheers. Bye.